What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's K&M Live. We in here. So today we got a little topic, or a big topic actually, that's been talked about on other platforms as well. And it's this phenomenon with a lot of guys saying they don't want to provide, right? They don't want to be the sole provider. Like they'll provide, but 50-50, blah, 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 blah. You know how a lot of people hate this conversation, basically. Hate is a strong word. But we have a clip today that's going to express like the response people give to that, like basically when dudes start talking like that, how they respond to it. And we want to talk about those responses basically. And there's a video that encapsulate exactly what I'm talking about, so let's get to it.
So if a straight man comes on the internet and says, I don't want to live my life to be in a relationship with a woman as this idea or fixation of being the sole provider so that you can live your life comfortably while I spend the last 60 years of my life working like a dog so that you can be comfortable, and all I'm doing is just breaking my back so that I can provide for you. If a straight man says all those things, how do we end up with, oh, well, that's because he wants a man. That's because he's gay. I'm just trying to understand. Why is that always the first thing that women go to? And I genuinely would like to know that. Because I don't understand that. What
You go ahead and fast forward.
Mhm.
I would be shocked if he isn't. So to see him ask this question,
I wanted to say shout out to Average Man Unplugged. He's been on YouTube for a while, but he this clips today were um, really well put together, and it's definitely something that we definitely want to talk about.
is like, yeah, we really want to know because I found
I got you.
calling this shit out. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
I'd rather drag my balls across the desert with two fat bitches on my back than to be a provider man. If you're dating a grown woman with a full-time job and she makes you pay all the bills, that bitch hates you. Niggas out here chasing women to pay their bills. Y'all niggas have no self-respect. Sprinting after debt is crazy. You niggas is slow. I heard a homeless woman say, niggas can't get a free meal on their birthday. I'm assuming she homeless because you can't take your nigga out for his birthday, you gotta be struggling. There's no way you love your partner treating them like that. It just don't make sense to me. Some women genuinely believe being with a man is doing them a favor. I will never fall for the propaganda. Also, who told y'all niggas want to provide? Men don't want to provide, not me. Being with a woman that expects you to take on all the debt but want all the assets just does not sound like something I want to do. Also, being a provider man in 2025 is not the same as 1920. My grandpa was not buying these bitches Birkins. They was not paying for car notes, not insurance, not BBLs, not lip injections. My grandpa paid for the roof over their head, food, and clothes. That's it. One car. I gotta buy a bitch an AMG, or I'm not a provider man, or I'm broke? No, not me. I was talking to a girl and she said she want me to put all the assets in her name, but I have to pay all the debt off. I buy a house, put it in her name, but pay the house off myself. Fuck no. For some pussy, the ROI on that is insane. Nigga, if I want a good return on my investment, I'm going to fix the blade. I'd rather drag my...
That man said
Yo, I guess I can let you cook first on that first clip.
Facts. I understand what he's saying because like it's been nonstop bashing in your head with so many like videos, and even some people that I came across in real life, they always want to be like, hey, let him pay for everything, and while I'll just chill, and then and then if I do work, all the money is just for me and stuff like that. So yeah, I can see why dudes have this disconnect of where nah, is either she puts up something of value or like equivalent exchange, of this dynamic, or like I don't want to be a part of it because now you're showing me that you're only in it for yourself and not in the long term. Because essentially, what we thought was we established this dynamic of where we need this long term relationship that we're gonna help each other out in somewhere fashion that suits in our form of our relationship. So, just that being said, you know, even though they spewed all of this, you like obviously these chicks not really getting what they want, and if they do, or if they are getting what they want, it usually don't last that long.
Right. It's not something that lasts for too long. Yeah, like I just think it's pretty ridiculous in this economy where you basically need a two income household to just even barely make it by. I just think it's pretty unreasonable. I'm not saying it's not doable. There's a lot of guys that's like, oh well, I only get 65K a year and I'm able to take care of everything. I'm like, but that doesn't mean y'all going to NFL games, NBA games. Like he said, you're not buying her an AMG. You're not doing any of that. Y'all, yes, you have a house. Yes, you have, you have a good paying job, but her lifestyle is limited though. Like, let's not sit here and act like off 60K you was over here buying everything. You're not doing that. That's cap. You buying the bare minimum things, like things that's like not that expensive for her. But a lot of these chicks are expecting that type of astronomical type of you know um, lifestyle per se. Because when they talk about giving the lifestyle, that's what that stuff includes. So it's just unfair. It's just not. It's not fair on in our current times to put that kind of pressure on guys for that. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you want to provide a good life for yourself, your significant other, and your kids, but not not at the expense of yourself. Not to the point where damn near you're basically a workhorse at that point. You have no life outside of providing. Outside of providing, you ain't got no life. But let's continue.
Balls across the desert with two fat bitches on my back than to be a provider man.
Hey, I have a question. I have a question. And I want all of the women to sound off in the comments section. And I'm not even here to judge y'all. I genuinely I want to have a better understanding of this. So if a straight man comes on the internet and says, I don't want to live my life to be in a relationship with a woman as this idea or fixation of being the sole provider so that you can live your life comfortably while I spend the last 60 years of my life working like a dog so that you can be comfortable, and all I'm doing is just breaking my back so that I can provide for you. If a man says that he doesn't want to live his life that way, if a straight man says, I don't want to be in a relationship with a woman that already has kids. I would rather be in a relationship with a woman that doesn't have kids. And then we have that discussion together that we would like to have kids together. Okay. If a straight man says all those things, how do we end up with, oh, well, that's because he wants a man. That's because he's gay. I'm just trying to understand. Why is that always the first thing that women go to? And I genuinely would like to know that. Because I don't understand that. What is that like mentality? Because I don't personally see anything wrong with a man saying that he has no desire to be the sole provider for a woman. Not him saying, I don't ever want to provide. I don't ever want to gift. I don't ever want to be her support system. I just don't want to be in a relationship with someone that has no desire to still strive for greatness in her own lane, to still go after her own goals, to still be a working woman, to still have her independence. I don't want to be with someone that just wants to lay back in the house and just take money out of my account. I'm trying to understand, if that's how a straight man feels, how do we keep ending up in the comment section with thousands of women saying, well, that's because he wants a man? I don't understand that. I really don't understand that, because in my mind, all of the status quos, all of the things that a man is supposed to do, now let's flip it. Don't women get upset if a man comes into a relationship and says, well, you're the woman, so you're supposed to do X, Y, and Z? I thought y'all didn't like that. Am I confused? Am I lost? I thought women didn't want a man to come up in a relationship and be like, oh, well, you're supposed to cook. You're supposed to clean. You're supposed to screw me every night. You're supposed to take care of the kids. You're supposed to. I thought women didn't like no shit like that. So if women don't like men coming up in their face talking about, oh, well, just because I'm a woman, I'm supposed to do X, Y, and Z, then I'm trying to understand, why is it that women put all of these things on men that they are supposed to do? And then when they don't want to do those things, automatically he's gay. I don't understand that. Somebody help.
I'll help you out, brother. It's a shaming tactic to try to get.
I agree. It is definitely a shaming tactic. Took the words right out of my mouth. I'll go first on this one. Man,
before
man.
you go, shout out to Brisket Clown. Appreciate the support.
Oh yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
We in here.
I know. I just wanted to put it out there, so we see you out there. We see you there.
Well, I'm telling you, man. The many
Hey, what's
humble
up? What's up,
beginnings.
Damani?
What up?
Well, you go ahead.
We might have some more coming in, man. I appreciate y'all. Ultimately, yeah, what Average Man was about to say, it is a shaming tactic. It's basically like, what is it? Shame, guilt, insult, and the need to be right. The sign language is one of the sign language, right? And it's just like they know when it comes to us men, like when we get belittled, it can either motivate us or we just separate ourselves from the pack. Because as men, that's how we compete, right? Like, oh, you little bruh, you need to get bigger, bruh. You need to get bigger muscles. Like they like to use that same tactic on us because we do that with each other. That's why they think it's okay to do stuff like that. And obviously, it's like in the first example that I just gave, you're gonna get stronger, right? There's a good end result on getting bigger, getting stronger. But in this case, it's like it's assumed that I want my own gender because I don't want to be the sole provider. That makes no sense. Which is let's not be let's not be the M word over here. You know what I'm saying? But it makes no sense. It's like what are you trying to say here? Yeah, it's a shame that they think that this is the only way for us to connect on that. They know the reality of the situation when it comes to the country, but they try to downplay it and make it seem like, oh, you could do it. You guys just don't want to do it. But it's like if I tell you the same thing, it's kind of like, oh, we're not allowed to be held to standards. You guys are.
And
Like
also,
what?
this is like very common knowledge that most people or America are just getting by. Like you see a lot of people making videos or people on the news complaining about stuff is high, things are expensive, and especially the women on social media where they talk about they're struggling to pay their bills, they're struggling living on their own and doing things by themselves, and it gets lonely, it gets annoying, it gets frustrating. So, you know, to me, them saying this is just kind of like some of them may mean it, in a realistic way, as opposed to like, oh, okay, I know I'm struggling, I know I need a man, so I'm willing to work it out. But some of them are just using it as just a way of like you just like their last lifeline. Hey, I need you. If I look like if the shoe fits the bill, hey, I need you to do this and just keep doing what you're doing, no matter what the situation is. So, especially if she looks on the pretty side of things. If she's real pretty, that's most guys' weakness. If the prettier the chick is, the more they're gonna gonna simp out. So, you're gonna have to obviously maneuver your way around this so you don't you know, get sidetracked, by doing this certain thing for this woman that's not reciprocating back. So all the fellas that who are smart enough, they know the game is rigged. So now they're just focusing on themselves working, and and if you want to get in a relationship, now they're gonna have to really have to vet this individual that they're gonna spend a long time of their lifetime with them, if that's what they really want down in the future.
And this is another point. It just goes to show you that our role. This is proof that men's role are never negotiable, no matter what it is. When it comes to relationships, men are required, like he said, supposed to. It's non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable that you got to pay for most things, that you got to do this, that you got to do that. But like he said at the end, when the shoe's on the other foot, what is a woman required to bring? This is heterosexual relationships, by the way. What is a woman required to bring? What can we hold to a woman that she has, no matter what is something that she has to do, because when we bring up any of those things, it's going to cause a fight, it's going to cause an argument, it's going to be like, how could you say that, blah 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 blah. And we have to have conversations about this, man, because a lot of our elders or the dudes that came, they just accepted it, they just put up with it. They was like, well, if you can't beat them, join them, bro. Hey, I'm gonna be pushing in that 80 hours, you feel me?
80 hours to hell.
No life, no wife, no life, basically. That's essentially that's what they got into. There's a couple more clips that he had in here that really encapsulate what's going on, so we're gonna play a couple more of those as well. That's, bro, I'm telling you, bro, that stuff is crazy to me, bro.
I hope you find that sugar mama to
Straw man of doom. Concept that a man not wanting to provide for a woman would ever insinuate that means that he wants a sugar mama shows you the problem. Like, clearly you are not viewing men and women equally, okay? But he continued.
Why wouldn't you want to provide for the woman that you love? Why wouldn't you want to try to make her life easier?
Yes, the panderers go to, why wouldn't you want to make her life easier? Reasonable ways, without a shadow of a doubt, most men want to make their partner's life easier. The real sneaky part that people like this always seem to forget, shouldn't they want to make your life easier as well? It's like their go-to with that. It's like, oh, well, the woman's not supposed to. Why not? Why isn't the woman supposed to? It's like, you can't answer me that without directly implying that women aren't as capable as men. It's just silly that in this day and age, we still have these kinds of back and forths, like as far as like discourse on this app, because it's like there will never be any sort of rhetoric that you can spew that will make that make sense.
Bro, it's early in the fucking morning. But I'm just really tired of being a provider.
You don't say.
Like, don't get me wrong, a bitch love.
You said what?
I said you don't say.
To work. Like, I love to work. I love to pay my bills. I love to take care of myself and my babies. Like, that's what gets me up every day.
By the way, y'all, this is a stud saying this too. This is a stud. This is somebody on their team saying this, which is crazy.
Don't like is having someone that does not have that same mindset. It makes me tired of being a provider, because now I'm providing for my kids, myself, and you. And it's like, I'm cool if, you know what I'm saying, you have your moments and shit where it's like, look, life is lifing. Bitch, I come in, I got you. But when life ain't lifing, we can alternate. Like, maybe one month you can have me. Like, you know what? You took care of the rent. That time, you know what I'm saying, when some shit was going down, life was life. Bitch, let me pay the rent this time. Or bitch, let me pay the car note for you this time. I don't know. I'm just really tired of just being a provider to others. Like,
carrying the dead weight, basically.
And then I just get shitted on every time. I'm like, really? Over it. I don't want to be a provider anymore. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm just ready to just be like, fuck it. And just be selfish.
We got ourselves
another one.
another.
Yo, that's insane, bro. That's mm-mm-mm. But yet, if we speak up and talk about this, it's an issue. And I think this is the elephant in the room. Men are required to do something, but then when it comes to the women, it's like, oh, stop it. Let's stop the conversation right there. I'm glad that people are like, actually speaking up about this stuff, man. I'm really glad about that.
But this is like a societal issue because I'm going to speak obviously since I'm American. I'm going to speak for Americans here. It's like it's a societal problem because they pushed men and women a certain type of way instead of both of them having equal accountability for things. Like anytime when it comes to women, we always have an excuse for them. Which I'm not saying they should be on the same realm as guys, but it has to be she's in a when she gets to adulthood, it has to be a certain standard in the matter of how they conduct themselves. So like especially if she's able to have a job, have a career, a good one at that, especially like in healthcare, STEM or IT, whatever she wants to do. And then she can't be over here trying to play two sides of the fence. Like you want to be this independent woman and responsible independent woman, having your own job, providing for yourself, while your other foot on your hand, your other foot on the other end, where you want to have a guy pay for anything, you don't have to do anything. And if you do have a job, you want to only spend the money that you make for yourself or save it for without trying to help your own man out that's in this relationship with you for the long haul. So that's the issue I have with our society, where we always make too much excuses for women that it makes them out like this, and we wonder why like the dating market can be insufferable at times, because when you're trying to explain something to them, it's like it goes above their head because they always been fed you're a princess and you're a 10 and other things of that nature, where it affects the dynamic of the dynamic between a man and a woman.
And like you said, another good one. It goes in one ear, out the other. It's like we ain't listening to you. You brokey. Only brokies talk like that. Then more insults, we got some more fire cooking, bro. We got some more. I think this is the last one that he had on here though.
Going to work, bro. It is work this, work that, wake up, go to work, come home, eat supper, go to bed, go to work in the next morning. I mean, dude, I got two kids. That I get to see for like maybe 2 hours a day, and they have to stay up late just so I can spend time with them, And then I got a wife that I get to see for maybe 3 hours a day, but other than that, it's go to work, spend time at work. I just tried to go to the gym, okay, because I had a rain delay at work, and then my boss texted me after like 15 minutes of being in the gym, being, oh yeah, come in 30 minutes earlier. We're actually going to start at this time. Like, dude, like that basically just wasted all of my time. Drinking a 1,600 calorie protein shake. That's going straight to the fucking gut now, dude. Like, I just want to get fit, dude. I want to spend time with my family. I want to have a good job. I want to make a lot of money. Hell, I got a business that I created that I don't even have time to run because I'm so busy trying to pay bills. When I got goals in my life, dude. I got a family that I want to support. I got a family that I want to spend time with. I want to get fit. Fuck you, dude. Fuck all of y'all. The politicians. Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck all you liberals. Fuck you Democrats. And fuck every fucking one of you. I'm sick of this. How can you live like this, man?
So I just made a video earlier talking about being a provider and reaching fire. And while reaching fire is a much better option than one guy trying to do everything while having a woman that does absolutely nothing. It makes no sense to me. And then I run across this video. This video right here is exactly what I'm talking about. This sounds like a great, fantastic guy. He's busting his ass. But it sounds like he has a woman next to him who isn't doing much. And he's got 2 children. Now, this is not something that he can correct. But for everybody who's watching this video, you're younger, you're 20, you're 19. Let's normalize not having children until we have reached fire. Let's reach fire first and then drop our children into that lifestyle. You can grab your woman early. Grab your woman early. I recommend that. Grab her early. Get her 19, 20, 21. Take her on the journey with you. Have her working side by side with you. I got $100,000 job. You have $100,000 job. Let's find a good spot where we can live. Let's live frugally. Let's live as frugal as we can in those first 10 years. And let's build our wealth up. Can we live on $30,000, $40,000 in a one-bedroom apartment? Sure. Let's do that. Let's find a place where we can do that at. And let's grow our wealth. Let's grow our assets. Let's buy assets that make us money. And instead of spending the money that we make out of our paycheck, let's take the money out of our paycheck and buy things so that we can spend the money that our money makes. That should be the goal. So if you want to make her a stay-at-home mom later on, you're not like him. You're not in a situation where you're working 60 hours. Instead, you have that rental property over there, that rental property over there, these assets over here, these assets over here, and they're paying the bills. And you can still be working with that. You can still be running a business. But whether you get up in the morning at 7 a.m. or whether you lay in the bed at 12, your bills are still paid. Let's get to that point. Let's reach fire together. And then if you want to go hang out and chill, you want to be a stay-at-home mom, who gives a shit? Go do your thing. Because the bills are still getting paid. And guess what? I can be there. I can be there because now I control all of my time. I don't have to be at a job. That job is optional. Because whether I work or not, my bills are still getting paid. This is where I want to see us at. So now we can be attentive fathers. I'm still going to be striving for shit. But guess what? If my child has a basketball game, I'm going. I don't give a shit what that job says because that job is optional. That's where I want to see us. So we can be better parents. We can be better fathers. We can be better husbands. I could take my wife on a 14-day trip and not worry about where my money's coming from because that check is still getting hit. Make sure that you add this page, you follow this page, you share these videos. Let's go, man. Let's reach fire. That's
Reach fire. I wish I had the applause thing. I would have put that. Reach fire. Yeah, that's one of the deepest fears I think for a lot of guys. Like, you're working this hard and just to not be appreciated and not be valued and basically transactional, seen as basically like an ATM machine. You're working in the hopes of thinking that your family's gonna, respect you more or honor you more. But like in our last video, you saw how that went for Deontay, risking his life, fighting, doing boxing, knowing how dangerous of a sport it is. And they didn't value it. They didn't respect it. They felt like, oh, well, you're gifted, so it's fine. Just keep spending on us. No problem. Just to be told you're not my daddy. She locked him out of his house. Like, that's if a woman wanted to know why a lot of guys feel this way, this is one of the biggest reasons. It's just you're not going to be appreciated no matter how much you give. And then not only that, a lot of guys leave their purpose behind so they can please their significant other or their family. A lot of guys abandon their dreams, abandon potential goals they may have had just to, make sure they put food on the table for their kids, which, like I said, if you bring them into this world, you got to take care of them. That is a requirement. I'm not aiming this at the kids. I'm talking about your partner. That's a different story. The spouse or the person you're supposed to be with. That's who I'm aiming this at, because they equally should be doing, in my opinion, the same amount of sacrifice you're doing. Because if I got to sacrifice my life 80 hours out of a job, then I expect you to give something just as equivalent, you know? And I don't think that's asking for too much. What you think about that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. A lot of guys, that when they get, especially if they get in a relationship with a young and they have kids, it's like you kind of plateau in a sense that if she's not on the same page with you, it's going to be very hard for you to level up because she's in this your spouse or your significant other can be in this mode of where that yeah, she stays at home, but you can when you coming back from the house, stuff is not made. She didn't cook for you. She didn't like you asked her to do something. She did it at the last minute, and it wasn't turned out the way you wanted it, and then it kind of like those type of things is where it's kind of supposed to strain in the dynamic of the relationship, and both parties are not checked into place of where, hey, this is where we at, this is where we want to be, and if we do it this way and see growth, this is where our dynamic, our financial situation can boost up. But if she doesn't see the vision of it, what you're doing, then it's going to be very hard for you to be in a relationship, of that stature when you're young. If she doesn't have the same mindset as you,
Mm, mm. Yeah, that
yeah,
last clip was very powerful. Let's get into the fire. Let's build the fire. I will say something about waiting to have kids. Okay, my mind has changed a little bit about that, and only due to the fact that we have this like way of thinking that we have all this time in the world. We really don't. You really don't know how long you. I mean, they will say life is long, right? That life is long, and then others will say life is short. And the thing about it is that you know as the man, yeah, you could wait till you're, however old you want to be. But usually those guys, they was already well off or successful at an earlier age. So they can hire people to make up where they may lack when it comes to the household, if they're not a super active father like that, due to work or business, whatever they might be doing. But advice that I've gotten from other older guys is that they're like, look, the energy you had to take care of them kids when you were younger, you're not gonna have that when you get older. So it's like I agree with him on the fact that you shouldn't rush into situations you're not ready for, but these situations could work if we're both coming into it with genuine intention for each other. It don't matter what time, whether it's the early 20s, late 30s. If the women valued it the same way the men do, there shouldn't be an issue with the timeline. It should be just we both working towards it together. Whether like I know somebody else said this, you ain't never gonna be ready. Like a lot of people think when I get a million, I'm gonna be ready. You're not gonna be ready. No one's ever ready when you have kids because there's so many things that encompasses raising children. So you're just not ever going. You just gotta be on the field. You could practice all you want, but if you're not on the field, it don't mean that. You're not getting no experience. And I'm somebody who values experience. You have to. That's who you know who you really are when you're tested. You don't know who you are when you're practicing, but when you're on the field getting tested, that's when you know if you can compete or not. You know. So that's the only. I wouldn't say I disagree, but that's the slight extra point that I want to make on the last clip that the guy was sharing. But it's true for the most part. If you don't feel ready to have kids yet, don't do it. Don't be rushing in to do it. But I'm gonna let other people chime in and you know hear what they have to say about it as well. It's like an open discussion, y'all. So don't be afraid.
yeah. I'm gonna put it in the chat if anybody wants to join.
Yeah, I feel bad for the other dude though. Now look, I will say I'm talking about the white dude that was talking. Now look, he did say at the end, F liberals, left F Democrats, all this. Hey, hold on now. They both bad, bro. Let's not sit here and act like the Reds doing any better than the Blues doing. They're both bad. Both of them. Both everybody in this nation wants to overtax the heck out of you and wants to make you a workhorse. That's really why they want us divided, because when you're single, it's easier to tax you more. But when you're a family unit, they can't tax you as much. And you see how he was ranting, right? That's a guy that felt like, okay, I'm gonna be the man that they tell me to be. But then once you got into that mode, you realize it's not all what they cracked it up to be. Like, it's not, it's not all glamour. Like the way he barely sees his kids, he barely has time for himself. But guess what? Every month, every day, every week, he has to provide, because if he don't, everything's gonna fall apart. And that's the pressure that now people will be like, well, that's the double standard. But yeah, we get it. That might be the double standard, but we have to be honest about that. We got to be honest about, who's taking on more weight, because they like to make it seem like they equally take on the same amount of weight, but it's not the same. You put the link in the chat, right?
Yeah, I just put a link
Yeah.
in the chat, and if anybody wants to, join in discussion or say your piece on it, it'll be
Yeah,
greatly
also
appreciated.
you could hide your camera and everything, so you don't have to like show your face like we are. I guess you could set a timer for it.
Okay. I guess let me put the timer real quick.
And like I said, shout out to Average Men Unplugged. We'll put the video in the description box so y'all can go watch it yourself as well. It's crazy. It says invite up to 6 guests. Upgrade now. So we can't have more than 6? That's crazy.
Yeah, I put a timer of 5 minutes.
Oh no, it says we can't have more than. It says invite up to 6. So what's the limit? What is the limit? I'm pretty sure you're supposed to pop up in here if you do come on. It's supposed to pop up on this side. Trying to join. Okay.
Okay, Chris said he's trying to join. Okay. Oh, that's not my bad. It's Brisket Clown.
And that's Brisket that said that. Yeah. Maybe you got to make like an account and stuff.
No, I don't think you don't know how to do that, because on StreamYard, we don't have to.
You don't have to make an account.
You don't
right?
have to make an account.
That's true.
I think you might have to sign in with your Google account or something, or some type of form of account, but you don't have to specifically make one for the streaming platform.
Mm. I don't know. Put it in there. We hoping we can see how it looks like when somebody comes in. Big shows.
There you go.
There he is.
Put him in there.
Pussy 3. That's it. Okay. That's fine. If you're talking, we can't hear you, Brisket. You gotta turn your mic on. You're on over here. So.
Yeah, I'm trying. Well, it's because I don't have a signal where I'm at, so it's kind of tough.
Oh, we can hear you though. I heard you. We hear you.
Okay. Let me turn the light on. Hopefully, y'all can see me. I'm in my truck. But no, I was listening to what you were saying about having the kids early or waiting on your time. It just depends on where you're at in life, Like for me, I I was getting pressured by my parents because my sister had kids when she had kids. One of my sisters has 9 kids. My younger brother already has his kids, and I always told my parents I'm not having a child until I'm fully ready, right? And as far as it said something about Deontay when the woman didn't respect what he was doing, even his stepson didn't respect. He said something about putting his stepson on his will. So My question is, why did you choose her in the first place? You know, for me, my wife, I've been married to my wife for 3 years. And when I first met her, I already knew what I wanted. So I asked her, my first question to my wife was, what is your relationship with your father? Because I wanted to see what her mindset was. You know, and the way she answered, she was like, my father passed away and I really missed him. He was always there for me. And I was just listening to how she answered. And that let me know she's family oriented. So that means the way I want to run things, as far as, you know, being the provider, being a father, I know she's 100% with that because I knew what I wanted from her. So my thing to men out there is, before you even look for a woman, do what it says in the Bible: seek the kingdom, seek the Father, seek Him, so that the woman will follow you. Because that's the whole point of your purpose. When you're on your purpose, she'll see that. Because think about it: what rapper, what NBA player, you know, doesn't have a woman chasing him? What billionaire, these type of guys who actually went for their purpose, what woman is not chasing them? You see what I'm saying? So if you're doing what you want to do in life, she'll see your focus. Now the right woman will come along, but it doesn't make sense to chase them if you don't have a foundation that you're, standing on. You know what it was a saying in the Bible that says, "Don't build your house on sand." So have a foundation, have your life in order before you start chasing things, that's probably meaningless. You know what I'm saying? So focus on yourself first, focus on your life, prepare yourself for whatever it is that you're chasing, and she will come along. You see it happen every time, no matter what it is. Like me, I'm in the trucking industry, right? I chose to take three years to just be on the road. No, I didn't chase percent on getting everything. Once I got to a certain threshold, now I can choose what I want. And once I started realizing that, when you kind of have all your stuff established and you start seeing certain type of women that you used to chase, you'll be like, man, what did I see in her? She didn't really have anything. You know what I'm saying? So when you have that background and you have uh, your things in order, you can kind of make that decision to where, you know what, let me get this right. Then I could be, that provider for my children. I could be that man that, my family needs, because you focus on what you needed to do first. And they'll see that and they'll come along, because I believe that there's many men that don't get the respect that they deserve. They don't get that appreciation like you was talking about earlier. And that's why you should fix you first before you go chasing after somebody else. And that's what I wanted to add.
Shout out, man. Shout out. I wish I had the applause. I would have played it,
Shout
but
out.
I don't have it connected right
It's all
now.
good. It's all good. It's all good, man. Like I just said, I mean, like it was something you was asking earlier about. I'm trying to remember what you said, and I had put this in the Bible, but it literally says to seek the kingdom. When you seek Him, everything is going to be added. Like, I don't understand why people don't understand that. Seek Him, give Him your time, like spend time with Him, talk to Him, have a relationship with Him. And I'm talking about God, our Father in heaven. Once you do that, believe me, He'll provide for you. But again, it takes faith. It takes us building a relationship, because the thing is, what I understand is, He really is your first love. Because you got to remember, us as children, He was the one that brought us into this world through our parents. And if you look at it today's time, you notice how everything is flipped upside down. They're giving the woman all the power, but the men are getting pushed in the background, and that's why you see all the chaos. But if the man is in charge, like it says in the Bible, it's supposed to be God, man, and then woman. But they woman, man, and then put God at the bottom, and that's why you see what's happening is happening now. But if men stop focusing on chasing women and just focus on what they need to be doing, watch everything change. Think about it. If you don't give what is the one thing they tell about women, about they just want attention. But if you don't give that to them and you're doing what you're doing, look what happened. Look at the passport bros incident y'all was talking about the other day. I'm hearing that they're shutting down. I guess Black American men, stopping them from going to Brazil or whatever. So they're trying to shut that down off of one thing one guy did. But if you really look
Now,
at the whole thing,
now about
yeah, go
that.
ahead.
So they're not like specifically targeting us, but tourists,
Mm-hmm.
American tourists in general, because now it's
Mm,
required to have a visa to go to Brazil now. That was back in May this year. Brazil made that announcement
Okay.
that if you want to come here, you have to have a visa now. Before you didn't. You could just have a passport and fly over there.
And then get the
And
wow.
Rio's the capital, so there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
tourists that come around there. So you'll if you look up on YouTube, you'll see a lot of so-called passport bros or guys who travel. One guy in particular, he was living in Rio, but he left because, like he said,
Mm-hmm.
the block is hot in Rio because of what happened. You know,
Wow.
because of that incident with Floyd, and I'm guessing there was like another
Mm-hmm.
incident where they just dropped another video of a guy beating up some chick in the an American tourist beating up some chick in the elevator, Diddy style. And I'm like, what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's like you said, man.
Wow.
It's one of those things where it's like, um, a lot of guys, you got to have women act on the power that we give them. So if we give them that type of power
Mm-hmm.
over us or whatever, that's the results you're gonna end up with. And unfortunately, it's not a choice. It's financially at the end of the day. It's a financial decision because if you look at how American media is, they sell to the women. So it makes sense why they act the way they do. The first thing they'll tell you is I love Disney
Mm-hmm.
princess movies. Why is that? Because that's what they
That's
consume.
fantasy.
That's what makes the
Mm-hmm.
money. What one
Mm-hmm.
content creator that I like a lot, Coach Greg Adams. I don't know if you know him. You got to check him out.
Oh yeah, I know him.
But he
I
he's
know him.
always said follow the money. If you ever want to know where the problem started, follow the money.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the
Facts.
root causes right here.
Oh,
They're willing
facts.
to
Facts.
engage in degeneracy for the dollar, for the price, because the return on it is a lot, but the damage that's been done can't be undone. What's been
That's true.
seen can't be unseen at that point.
Well, facts. I agree. I agree. Uh, as far as Coach Greg Adams, I'll be honest with you. He's one of the reasons I met my wife, following his system. You know, free
Wow.
agent
Free
lifestyle,
agent
like he
lifestyle.
says. Yeah,
Free
yeah.
Creative
lifestyle.
Man, I've been
lifestyle.
on him for like what 2. Yeah, I've been on him for like what a year or two. And like he said, live your life because I read his first book, The Free Agent Lifestyle, and it was funny because a lot of the stuff he mentioned in the book, I naturally did. Like he
Mm,
said, if you're having it's something in the book where he says, when you're having one of your moments or something frustrates you, just get out and drive. I naturally did that. Reading it and seeing that that's something that's other men does as a lifestyle, as a way of calming down. It kind of like I was like, wow, I didn't think other people did this. I thought it was just me. But just listening to it, like his feedback and the things, certain things that he was talking about, that's what got me to the point where I said, you know what? There's no point of chasing these women. It don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Because one, at the time when I was first listening to him, I just now got my first apartment, and I was living by myself, and I needed that space to figure out, how I wanted to live life and where I wanted to go. So I started listening to him, and I said, you know what? Let me focus on me. And I never forget this day. One of my friends who owned his own, music studio and everything, wanted to shoot a video at my apartment. I said, go ahead. I don't really care. And the girls he brought over saw the apartment and they were asking me like, "Do you have a girlfriend? Do you want one?" And I'm looking at them crazy. I said, "You just met me." You know what I'm saying? And it's because they see the apartment, and it's because they see I have, my own space. I basically have my stuff in order. You know what I'm saying? So
your actions spoke.
that
The
is
the.
what there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just took the words right out of my mouth. Action do speak louder than words. So when they see that, it's not much you have to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you really have to focus on yourself first. Because once you do, they will follow you regardless. Think about it. I mean, my examples is just the athletes and the rappers. To get to that point, they had to have a craft. They had to, like, wake up, what, 6 in the morning, 3 in the morning, practice. They didn't have time for women. They just practice. And now that they're at that level, they can pick whoever they want. So why choose to pick, when you don't have anything? I mean, I understand if you, for example, want to pick your wife early, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just make sure you understand what you're getting into and be prepared for what happens afterwards. Same thing if you don't choose her. Be prepared because there are always pros and cons, no matter which route you go. You know what I'm saying? Just prepare yourself for whatever comes. That's how I feel about it.
And the only thing I can add to that, it's good and all that men get on their purpose, that they do what they need to do. But time after time, we see those same men end up getting
Hmm.
destroyed by their partners later. I think what our
Hmm.
channels and many other channels are trying to break down is it worth it to build yourself up, to get a wife, to have the kids, just to lose it all in the end? There's has to be a level of respect for the men in the country,
Hmm.
or we have to get, I wouldn't call it reparations. I mean, like, some type of, like, hey, because this happened, you deserve this. Because you worked hard, you sacrificed, you have the profile to prove it. And I just think
Hmm.
that's not enough. Our society don't do that enough. Like, I'm not saying they have
That's
to
true.
coddle us, but they have to give us some type of reassurance that we're not working in vain. We're not working
Hmm.
for nothing. Or it could just be put off as, oh, you just chose wrong. You just chose the wrong partner. Because sometimes it could be the right partner and they just change on you. Different
That's
elements
true.
it could be the voices in their ear, their friends, their family. Anything could happen. It's just, where's the fail safe? I mean, what I'm really getting at, where is the safety net for the men when things go bad? Everything's good when it's going good, but when it goes bad, it gets bad. Where's the safety net to where dudes can recover to some degree without having to, like, restart all over again and go through those things? I'm hoping that they will create a system that supports that. Eventually, that's something that I would like to see, because they're slowly starting to do it now. For
Hmm.
instance, paternity fraud is one of them. Now it's required in Tennessee. Tennessee is one of the states. It's not required in all the states yet, but in Tennessee, if the kid's born, they have to have a paternity test, because there's a lot of dudes raising kids that ain't theirs. They've been
That's
lied
true.
to their whole life. Then you have Florida, who took away lifetime alimony. People didn't even know that was a real thing till I brought it up. I brought it up in this one
Huh.
conversation. They was like, "What? They really had something like that?" Yes, Florida had lifetime alimony, where you would keep paying your ex-wife, even despite the fact that you guys have moved on. You still dishing
Mm.
out checks to that individual. Florida just recently took that away, but it's just crazy that it took all this time for them to put in those systems. Is it like we're sweetening the deal for you guys to come back and have families? Like, what is that all about? Because these changes that I just talked about happened in the past 2-3 years.
Hmm.
We're in the 2020s. Where was this same energy 2000, 1999? Where was this same energy? Why is it now y'all decide to change it? That's my question. That's not something obviously any of the viewers or any of you guys can answer, but that's my question to the government. Like, why did it take y'all so long to put in something that was very detrimental to men? That was very detrimental to us. But you didn't put that system earlier, you put it in now, when the market's crashing, inflation is up. What are you guys trying to do? Are you guys trying to rope us back in? Like, what's the strategy behind you guys doing this now? Because now, if you notice, they're calling out the women a lot now. I'm just sitting back and I'm just watching. I'm just like, why are y'all doing this now? Like, I appreciate that you guys are doing this, but why though? You see, that's the thing in me. That's the doubt. It's like, why are we bringing this up now? Like, why are we acting on this now? That's the thing that
Oh,
gets me.
that's a big question. That's a big question because I think when you figure that out, you'll figure out what's really going on. Why change
Right.
now? Well, the other thing I was finna tell you about the failsafe, I've only seen it work twice, and that's in Tom Brady's situation, and I can't remember the player situation. I'm sorry, his name. where both of them put their estates, everything they own, under their mother's name. So when their wife divorced
Right.
them, you can't take half of something he doesn't own. So that's one thing you could do, but I don't know how well that would work with other people. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So that's the only
Yeah.
fail safe I think that's available. But I don't know how many men would be like, I just put it under my mother's name, or I put it under somebody you actually trust. So if, let's say, your wife or whoever decides to divorce, they're going to say, okay, we take half of the house, but the house is not under your name, so you don't own it. You just happen to live there. But again, I don't know how the court system works when it comes to that aspect, because those are the only two examples that I've seen where the man got to keep everything that well, you could say he owned, but he really put it under his mother's name. So that could be an option, but I'm not entirely sure. But you're right. There is no true fail safe for men out there, and I understand why a lot of men say, it's not worth getting married. I understand. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you work so hard just to lose it because she decides she's not happy at some
Anymore.
random
That's,
moment.
yeah.
You
Could
know?
be within 5 years.
So
Could be 10 years. Could be
yeah,
15. You never know when it's going to happen. It may not happen at all. Let's be on the positive side. It may not happen at all. But our country has showed us that it's more likely than not for it to happen. You know.
yes, oh
No.
yeah,
So you got anything else you want to say?
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
I
say I
agree.
say I say we just wrap it up. This
Yeah,
is
yeah, I
already
agree with
already.
both of you what you're saying. And those two examples that you brought, those two had a good relationship with their mother. So it's like, yeah, I trust my mom. I just give it to her for the time being,
mm-hmm,
you know, and then whatever happens, that I could just go
mm-hmm,
back and then you could redistribute it back to me, or we just put it in a separate trust in general. So technically I don't own anything. And a lot of, especially guys that didn't grow up,
right,
but then they didn't have their father, or they grew up a toxic relationship with a mom. They're not gonna entrust all their stuff to their mother. We're just being honest, because she can may squander the money.
mm-hmm,
She can, like, do something that would mess up the ownership of it. It was just something that now you're gonna have to backtrack and try to figure it out, how to put it back in its original place. It's just that, that dynamic where boys, especially black men in general, that was raised by their mothers, like, if you didn't have a good relationship with her, you're more likelihood when you got successful, you're not gonna put that type of trust when you get into a relationship or marriage in the future, unless from the beginning you already had a great dynamic with each other, and then, yeah, I can do that because I know my mom was trustworthy, and then she wouldn't do me like that. So a lot of guys don't have that luxury to do that.
no, facts. Well, I
Yeah.
agree.
Well.
Then we got, what's the other one? Prenups. I mean, you could say that's a safe thing, but you know how women feel about
Yeah.
you know how
Mm-hmm.
feel about prenups. It's like, oh, do you know the whole thing? Do you trust me? And it's not built on love. But look, we all know when women get money, or when, like, the relationship ends, she's gonna be the most logical person in the room, and you're gonna
Facts.
be looking like, damn, she thought of that, she did that, to she asked that for her lawyers and blah blah blah. I gotta pay this. She gonna be the most logical person when it comes to her money, or when it comes to divorce. She gonna be the most logical person in the room. So that's why it's like, it's not because I'm not really trusting. It's to make if we do break up, it makes the proceedings a lot more easier, because last thing you want is the judge to decide what's going to be divided up. He's gonna make an acclimated number, just especially if you're famous or have a certain amount of wealth. He's gonna just give her some number or amount that he thinks it's fair, but to you, it's like, I don't think that's really a fair trade. So it's kind of hard to kind of implement that. But if she with you with good reason, because I feel like if a girl makes more money than me, I don't really care if a girl makes more money than me, as long as we have a stable dynamic with each other. We know what we're supposed to do. And also, if she wanted me to sign a premium, I wouldn't care, because I'm not with you for that. It's like, it's not gonna, like, oh, she gave me a premium, she don't trust me. I really don't care, because before I met you, I was already doing stuff on my own anyway. We just came together to make a happy family, and make our lives, easier down the line, and put our kids up on game, and put them have an established better life. So personally, I don't see a problem with signing it, but you know how women are. There's always some type of struggle to get you to be goo goo gaga in the eyes for them, and you do something dumb, and then you know how that is going to end up being down in the future when it ends.
Men are in love, women are in business. Shout out to CGA.
Yeah, yep. Facts. Facts. Facts.
well, Em, you can wrap it up, man. Yes, we already hit the hour mark.
Yeah, so I appreciate it, Brisket Clown, for you joining. You know, this is our first time seeing you. You know, we'll be seeing you in the comment section and stuff, so it's greatly
Yeah, love
appreciated.
support, man.
Shit, you a brother too. We appreciate that. You know.
Always, always. Come on now.
Yeah, so right about who's watching, you know, if you guys have anything you want to say about it, you leave it in the comment section down below. Also, it's greatly appreciated that you guys tuned in on our channel. If you guys want to support us even more, you can check out our merch. We have that in the link in the description box and all our videos. So once again, we appreciate you guys for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget the notification bell if you haven't already. If you guys have any recommendations or feedback, you let us know on our social media or email down below. And we see you guys in the next video.
Peace.